over a family dinner with his wife, daughter, and extended family. Quentin thinks everything will be perfect in the Christmas wonderland his wife has created. But during dinner, Daphne, his daughter, claims there's a man hidden in their basement. Quentin has no choice but to uncover the truth. Christmas dinner was supposed to be perfect this year. My wife, Ivy, had spent weeks transforming our home into a holiday wonderland, from garlands framing the doorways to twinkling white lights strung across the windows. Our 8-year-old daughter, Daphne, had helped set the table, her chaotic but charming touch evident in the mismatched napkin folds and slightly tilted name cards. Both sets of grandparents were with us, this being Ivy's first Christmas with her stepfather, Patrick. Everyone was laughing, trading stories, and sipping mulled wine. For once, everything felt harmonious. Until Daphne destroyed it all. I was mid-slice into the turkey, the knife gliding through the golden, crispy skin, when Daphne climbed onto her chair. Her big blue eyes sparkled with excitement as she called out loud enough to wake the neighbors. "And where's the man that Mom keeps in our basement?" Forks froze mid-air, and the conversation died as if someone had flipped a switch. My jaw dropped, and the knife slipped from my hand, clattering onto the platter. Ivy's face turned sheet white, her festive smile vanishing instantly. "What did you just say, sweetheart?" I asked, forcing a laugh even as my stomach churned. Daphne crossed her arms, her little face full of righteous determination. "The man. Mom always goes to see him when you're at work. I saw him with my own eyes." A gasp rippled across the table. My mother whispered, "Oh my lord," while Ivy's stepfather's face turned an alarming shade of red. Did he know something? Ivy just sat frozen in her chair, her mouth opening and closing soundlessly, as if trying to make herself invisible. "Daphne," I said carefully, though my pulse pounded in my ears. "What are you talking about, honey?" "Come on, tell Dad. You're not in trouble. I promise." Daphne jumped off her chair, grabbed my hand, and tugged with all her might. "Come on, Daddy. I'll show you. He's in the basement right now." Ivy shot up, her chair scraping loudly against the floor. "Daphne, that's enough. Stop this act," Ivy shouted. Our daughter just glared at her. "No, I'm not lying. I saw you take food to him last week when you said you were putting away laundry." The tension was unbearable. Ivy's parents looked like they'd been slapped. My dad rubbed his temples, muttering something about the strength of his wine. Why did it feel like some big affair was about to be revealed? I let Daphne pull me toward the basement door, my heart thundering. "Ivy," I said over my shoulder, "is there something you need to tell me?" "No," Ivy stammered, rushing after us. "This is ridiculous. Daphne's been watching too much TV." Daphne whipped around, stomping her foot in annoyance. "I am not lying, Mommy. I'd had enough." I yanked open the basement door and flipped on the light. "Stay here." I told everyone who had followed us down the hallway, but I knew they wouldn't dare to follow me into the basement. The stairs creaked under my weight as I descended into the cold, dimly lit basement. My eyes darted around, taking in the cluttered boxes of Christmas decorations and old furniture stacked against the walls. And then I saw it. In the far corner, half hidden behind a row of crates, was a small cot, like what you'd find at an army base. The blanket was folded neatly at the end, and beside it sat a tray with an empty bowl and a water bottle. "What the?" I muttered, stepping closer. A soft cough from the shadows made my heart stop. I spun around to find Ivy at the bottom of the stairs, her face streaked with tears. "Quentin," she said, her voice trembling. "I can explain." "You'd better start talking," I snapped, though fear and confusion clawed at my chest. Before she could respond, a frail figure shuffled into view, stepping hesitantly into the light. He was an elderly man, his clothes threadbare and his face gaunt, as though life had been siphoned out of him, drop by drop. His hollow eyes met mine, full of apology and exhaustion. "Who the hell is this?" I demanded, looking between the man and Ivy. My wife wiped her face, a nervous sweat across her forehead. "This is my father," she said. "What?" My mind reeled. "Your father's dead, Ivy. You told me he died years ago." "I lied," she admitted, her voice breaking. "I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't want you to think less of me." The man stepped forward, his voice weak but steady. "She has every right to hate me," he said. "I was a terrible father. I hurt her and her mom. I wasn't there when they needed me, and I gambled away most of our money. Most of my life was spent in and out of prison. When I got out a few months ago, I had nothing. Ivy found me at a halfway house after my parole officer told her I was out." His eyes softened, and he smiled at Ivy. "She didn't want to tell you because she thought you'd make her send me away." Ivy sobbed. "I couldn't let him die alone, Quentin. He's sick. He has cancer. The doctor said he doesn't have much time." My head spun. The anger and betrayal coursing through me fought with a deep, gnawing pity. I stared at Ivy and at the man who had caused her so much pain but who now looked so small and broken. From the top of the stairs, a soft voice interrupted. "Is he Grandpa?" Ivy and I both turned to see Daphne clutching the banister, her wide eyes darting between us and the man in the basement. "Yes, sweetie," Ivy said. "He's your grandpa." Daphne's face lit up, her curiosity outweighing any sense of fear. "Can I talk to him?" I wanted to shield her from this mess, but something in her hopeful expression stopped me. I nodded. Over the next few weeks, everything changed. Slowly, painfully, we adjusted. Ivy's father moved out of the basement and into the guest room, where he could sleep in a proper bed. It didn't erase the sting of Ivy's lies, and we argued. A lot. I felt blindsided and betrayed, but the more I watched her care for him, the more I saw the burden she'd been carrying alone. Daphne, as always, was the bridge we needed. She approached her grandfather with a child's curiosity, unburdened by the past. "Why do you talk like that?" she asked him one afternoon, mimicking his raspy tone. He chuckled. It was his first laugh in years. "I smoked when I was young, darling," he said. "Don't ever do that." "I won't," she said solemnly, then added, "but you should drink more water. Mommy says it helps." I saw the man Ivy had been hiding begin to soften. He wasn't just the broken figure she described he was trying to make amends and be better. When he passed away 3 months later, we were all there. Ivy held one hand and I held the other, with Daphne curled up by his side. His final words to Ivy were, "Thank you for giving me a second chance." As much as I hated how it all started, with lies and secrets, I realized he wasn't the only one who got a second chance. We all did. It was late, and the house was quiet except for the faint hum of the heater. Ivy sat on the couch, clutching a half-empty mug of tea, her eyes red and swollen. I stood in the doorway, watching her, unsure what to say. "You don't have to just stand there," she said softly, her voice breaking the silence. I crossed the room and sat beside her. "Ivy," I began, "I'm so sorry for how things were, for how hard it's been." She let out a shaky breath, her fingers trembling around the mug. "You don't have to apologize. I should be the one saying sorry. I should have told you the truth from the beginning." I hesitated before placing a hand on her knee. You were trying to protect me. Protect us. I get that now. I thought I could handle it on my own. That if I just kept it hidden, it wouldn't hurt anyone. But it did. It hurt you. And Daphne. I lied. Quentin. And for what? To keep a promise to yourself, I said. You didn't want to be like him, abandoning someone who needed you. She broke then, her shoulders shaking as she sobbed into her hands. I pulled her close, wrapping my arms around her, letting her cry against my chest. I hated him for so long, she whispered. He ruined everything, my childhood, my mom's life. I didn't want him there. But when I saw him, broken and sick, I just couldn't turn him away. You're not him, I murmured, resting my chin on her hair. What you did, it wasn't for him. It was for you, for the person you want to be. She pulled back slightly, her eyes searching mine. Do you think I made the right choice? Letting him stay? I nodded, my voice firm. You gave him something he didn't deserve a chance to be better. To say goodbye while being surrounded by family. And that's more than most people get. Ivy sighed, wiping her cheeks. Come on, she said, her voice steadier now. Let's go get some pie from the fridge. Daphne's asleep, so we don't have to keep her away from the sugar. I smiled, following her into the kitchen. And for the first time in months, I felt the weight of it all begin to lift. Binding bonds through beautiful tales. Thank you for watching.